comic books, comic shops, speculation, collecting. Honestly, this has always been my real passion. Welcome to Green Avenue Comics. Hey everybody, welcome back to Green Avenue Comics. We've got some pretty exciting DC news today, and honestly, I'm not surprised by this one. Absolute Batman is officially getting an animated series from DC Studios and Warner Brothers Animation. And Scott Snyder, the co-creator of the comic, is gonna be the showrunner. That's a pretty big vote of confidence from DC. Now, if you've been reading Absolute Batman, this probably doesn't shock you. This series has been incredibly popular. Instead of another billionaire Bruce Wayne with endless gadgets, this version gives us a working class Batman who has to rely on himself instead of unlimited money. It's familiar enough to feel like Batman, but different enough to feel fresh. And I think that's exactly why readers have connected with it. Now, here's my opinion. I actually think DC is moving faster than they normally would with a brand new comic. Usually, a new character, or even a new version of an existing character, has to prove itself for several years before getting adapted. This one didn't wait very long. I think that's because the comic has been such a huge success. But I also have another theory. Batman's earliest appearance will eventually start entering the public domain. That doesn't mean anyone can suddenly copy modern Batman exactly. DC still has trademark protections and later copyrighted versions, but it does mean things become a little more complicated over time. We've already watched public domain characters get turned into parody horror movies like Blood and Honey after Winnie the Pooh entered the public domain, and The Mousetrap after the early Mickey Mouse version became public domain. So personally, I think DC wants a modern Batman that is visually and creatively distinct enough that audiences instantly recognize it as today's DC Batman. And I'm sure this will likely be the Batman for younger readers. Again, that's just my opinion. DC hasn't said that's why they're doing this. There's no public evidence that DC or Warner Brothers has said this is why they're developing Absolute Batman. So again, this is a personal theory rather than me trying to make a factual claim. I'm just saying, Batman's original 1939 appearance will eventually begin entering the public domain on a rolling basis. So again, this is my own conspiracy theory, not something I've read or anything DC has said. Now, from a collector standpoint, whenever DC announces an adaptation this early, collectors usually take notice. Animated shows don't always move the market like live action movies do, but they absolutely bring new readers into comics. So, if you've already been picking up Absolute Batman, congratulations, you were way ahead of the curve. If you haven't, I'd read it because it's a great story. If values go up later, that's just a bonus. So what do you think? Is DC simply rewarding one of its biggest recent hits, or is there a much bigger long-term strategy happening behind the scenes? Let me know down in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe to Green Avenue Comics, and I'll see you in the next Comic Hunt, review, or collector update. Happy collecting!